So I remember about 8 months ago, I was starting to find it tough in business to get new clients. Conversion rates were creeping down the way. People were saying no more often, and marketing content was just getting harder to hit home and find your ideal client. Of course, like any business owner, you just think it's yourself, it's you. You need to pivot, you need to change. And after it going on for months and months and months, I spoke to a few people. In business, you don't have a lot of people who are doing the same things as you. Of course, you can go to other sectors and other industries, which is what I've done. But I remember a while back, I had a mentor who, for the last 4 years or so, you would class it as competition now. I started serving the same market as him. Fast forward to, 8 months ago, I had a conversation with him and he said the same. Things are tough, things are challenging. Everybody's been sold the dream and the market is due a reset, a massive reset. So a lot of people are saying there's a trust recession. I would probably agree with them. There is a lot of people selling a lot of stuff that they're over-promising and under-delivering. So in today's video, I found a couple of ways that's really helped me in my business and my clients. And so there's this simple framework here that I want to kind of draw out for you. The hope for the video is that you take your offer, understand that trying to sell your big sexy offer right now, irresistible offers, $100 million offers that Alex Hormozi teaches you. It's quite difficult now. Now, in an ideal world, we'd sell that big offer because it solves a lot of problems. But if you're struggling to make money right now, if you're struggling to get people over the line, I'd suggest you have a look at doing this. So let's get stuck in. So it's really simple, the concept. Everybody watching this video has an offer. So you have an offer, and right now it's, if you followed Alex Hormozi's principles, it's probably got, a big sexy promise. It's probably aimed at a specific person that you solve problems for. It's probably got, in some cases, a guarantee. You might have some, risk reversal. Maybe you have all that stuff, and you know what? Maybe like whenever someone sees the offer, they say yes, and maybe you've got a really good conversion rate and people say yes a lot. Maybe on one side of the coin here is that you just can't get people to see the offer through your marketing efforts, through your content efforts, whatever it is. And so the offer is solid, but maybe it's untested as well. So you really want to try and get as much volume through to the offer as possible. Now, nowadays, social media, as you know, is getting harder and more saturated. So social media ads are getting more expensive to obviously then pay for these ads and get them in front of your ideal audience. And so with all of this stuff, you've kind of got two sides of the coin here. I'm trying to cover everybody watching this, but let's just say we're on the side of, do you know what, my offer's okay, it's pretty good. Could it be better? Maybe. Do I get some yeses, some no's? Yep. And so I think that'll cover most people. And so what the idea I want to propose to you today is how you can take your offer, and we're going to chunk it up into different sections. So in this particular case with our client Joe that we've done it with, he had technically 13 different offers that we could use to chunk it up. And so from that 13 different offers, we were able to create a weekly, monthly and quarterly cadence for launches and intakes. Because the thing is about an offer, regardless if we do the Alex Hormozi stuff where we offer the promise, we take away the risk and all of this sort of stuff, it's still very difficult to sell an offer that is evergreen. Now, we all know the pros and cons to evergreen offers. The pros are that you can always continue to take people on. It's an evergreen offer. You don't have to come up with new ones. The cons are that it's really difficult to get genuine scarcity and urgency from an evergreen offer, because you can't just be like, free spaces left this month, when we all know it's the same offer that you do. You could, but you can just tell it's not genuine. And so obviously if you do an intake, or like, let's say it's reoccurring offers, where it's like seasonal and things like that, you can get that genuine scarcity and urgency with intakes. But the cons to it is that you're constantly launching, you're always away, and what's my emails going to be this month? How am I going to do an intake? Create some more ads, let's write some more ads, and you end up in this never-ending cycle of launching. So there's the evergreen and there's the intake. But what happens if we just combine both of them? And this is what we did for him. So we have an offer, we have 13 different offers that we can look at. I'll tell you why we come up with 13 in a second. But the big idea here is that, let's say your big amazing offer, right? Your big amazing offer always has an onboarding. So you're able to onboard clients. And so in that onboarding, you typically have steps that they take. Now, these steps get done so that your market and your ideal client can get a result. I think we can all agree on that. So there's an onboarding, there's steps, and then there's a result that you want them to do. Now, from the result and from all of this, there is usually tools and resources. Now, of course, in a lot of cases, there is going to be a lot of conversation, consulting, coaching, whatever it is, but there's tools and resources that they use in the onboarding and the steps to get that dream result. And so what I want you to do right now is just think of what these steps are. and break them down. Now, if you find any of these steps in there do not get a result, obviously there's some behavioural stuff. Maybe you're teaching them how to be a great community member, a great client and stuff like that. But any of these steps, these steps here can be chunked up as an offer, as a micro mini offer. Now I want you to look at each one. I want you to write it down, all of these steps and tools and resources. So some of them might be like, download this guide, fill in the form, and then when I get that form back, the audit, I can then do X, Y, Z for you, for your business, for your health, whatever it is. And so let's say that was the case here. This now becomes one of your offers, one of your micro offers. Now you might be thinking, Chris, well, that's all well and good, but it's always one teeny tiny problem. Now, as I'm going to go and explain, this is what's crucial, because if people are skeptical, there's a trust recession right now, they need to know they can trust you. So what we're going to do, big offer, do you want it or not? The answer is no. Where's the middle ground? It used to be okay to walk away from a sale, but if people are lacking trust, then surely you want to have a yes, no, and something in the middle. And that's where these kind of micro offers come up. Now, I'll give you a perfect example of this. We do done for you ads, we do GBP, Google Business Profile Management, we do content creation for our clients, we do a whole host of other stuff, right? This just goes to show you. And so what we found within the done for you ads was like scripting. So we scripted ads, and that can become a chunk. And so the offer then becomes like, we'll run your ads for you, and you're like, heard it all before. But if I say to you, look, I'm doing an offer for the month of September where I'm going to write your full ads, and if they don't perform better than your current ads, you'll get your money back. And so instead of me charging this big agency fee where I'm like, we'll overhaul things and we'll do it, and it's like, I've been burned before, it's like, do you know what? We'll put our money where our mouth is. We'll script your ads for you, and if they don't perform better than your current ads, you'll get your money back. And so what we can do here is just charge a certain amount. We could charge £97 for that service, and we get them in, we have communication with them, we get their ads running, and we ask them to show us to see their ads. Maybe they can't run their ads properly. Maybe we add in some do-it-yourself or do-with-you ads management. Maybe we educate them on ads, which then enters the conversation of the next part of the offer, which is education. Look, why don't we actually just show you how to run the ads properly? It'll be £197 in total. And look, do we want to keep creating these wee mini offers all of the time? No, but it's going to give you a purpose. And so I think you get the picture of how we chunk it up. We chunk it up by looking at sections that you do. So in this case, what I've done is I've went done for you ads, okay? How do we run done for you ads for our clients? Well, number one, we get them to do an audit. We do market research. We then understand the brand voice and mission. And then we look at like local competitors. We start to script things. So we script it, and then we get approval from the client, and then we launch. So you can see here, like, what part of that process can I take? Well, I could definitely run some audits this month and give feedback. So audits to feedback for my prospects in my email list. Market research, I could go and do some market research. I could find a local business that is similar to my clients, run some research on it and say, hey, did you know that the ads that you're running, you're the only one running at this type of offer. All your competitors are running this type of offer. If you'd like to chat about how we can fix that for you and maybe script you new ads, let me know. And can you see here how I've entered into a whole different conversation now from just done for you ads that people are scared of in this instance. And so the key where this really takes effect here is that you just start turning this into your full ecosystem. So in the example I gave you, right, which was scripting with an upsell, which was management or content/education. So let's say they only want scripting. That is £97. Then we have a conversation. Do you know how to run these ads? Not really sure. You could help someone, but if they want to get properly educated on it, it's £197 for that. Now what I can do with this, and this is where this whole framework really takes effect, this becomes my DM conversations for my setter to reach out to people to see if they need help. This becomes my email marketing campaigns for the month. This becomes my ads for the month. This becomes anything I'm mentioning on a call was a downsell maybe. And this is where I update my website with this particular offer. Now what do we get with all of that? We get genuine, scarcity and urgency, which ultimately is a massive factor in presenting people with a marketing campaign. They'll put their hand up and say yes. And so all of this has come from one teeny micro offer, which in our case, it was scripting ads for you. Now, when you do this as well, like, all I have to do is look at scripting, and in order for me to get this right, I have to go and do an email. What do I have to do? Well, my email can be a couple of things. I can show you how a great script looks. I can show you client results from the scripts that we've done. And then of course, I can do a call to action. Do you want me to review yours? Now this could be like, the opportunities here are endless. And the way that I want you to do this is pick from this list here. I want you to first of all not get overwhelmed, and I want you to go into your very best steps and just label them. In this case, I'm going to go green, amber, and red. Red isn't bad, it's just they're not as strong. And so in the example I gave you there, I went for done for your ads because it's the biggest needle mover. It's our biggest earner as well, because we take control of the full thing for them, and it's the closest to them making money activity. And so what I might do is I'm going to go, do you know what, week 1, I'm going to test this. Week 2, this. Week 3, this. and then so on. And now you've got priority, medium priority, low priority. And to finish this whole video off here, what you'll end up with is, like I say, a week 1 thing to week 4, but you'll also have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so you'll have your content as well for each part where you're going to talk about this particular new product that you've got that isn't so new. It's just a deliverable that you already do. And so what we're doing here, instead of giving somebody the full meal, which they've already tried stuff, they've had food poison from companies before, they are a bit reluctant to get into another relationship because they've had a terrible relationship in the past. That's what it's like. You're now giving them an appetizer, and that little appetizer might be the thing that then goes back and makes them want the meal. So I want you to have a think about this. I want you to go in, look at your onboarding, look at your on-ramp process, tear it apart, look at the big things that you do for your clients, chunk them down, and don't do a big palaver and overhaul things where your market gets confused about what you actually do. Just break each part down. You know, we've taken some clients on for AI visibility only, and it's led to us running their ads, doing their SEO, doing their Google ads as well as Meta ads, and it's just because they got that taster to come in. So give this a bash. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any comments, let me know in the comments below, and tune into this next video that's on screen.